Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be doing another vinyl update video, but this was going to be a little bit special, this one, because it's actually a record store day today. So I've just got back from Asai Records in Edinburgh, where I managed to get everything like that I was looking for. So you might if you were familiar with the list this year, you'll probably know what I've got or have a rough idea. But I'm just going to be showing all of that, doing live openings, I guess, of all of those items. And then I've got a few records as well to show from the last time I was down in Manchester, as well, a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, quite a fair bit to get through today. So yeah, we'll just get cracking with the record store day items. So I got don't know how many things here, about 7 or 8 things here, I guess. The first one, the main thing I was really going for was this, which is the Noel Gallagher's High Flying Bird single, which is for the song In a Little While here, which came out I think it was on New Year's Eve, earlier this year, it came out, and it's a beautiful song, but which I think was going to be earmarked for his next album, a kind of acoustic album, but he's since said in kind of recent weeks that he's actually abandoned work on that album. So yeah, this song, In a Little While, might actually never be released other than this demo. So it was good to get that. It's got his cover of Love Will Tear Us Apart on the B-side. I'm just going to try and get into this one here, but we'll see how difficult it is to open. Okay, so we're in. There's no inner sleeve for this, which is a bit disappointing. It is literally just the single. It's as basic a packaging as you can get, but yeah, no, nice to get that one though, yeah. And it's a numbered copy there, as well. Okay, probably next one up on my list for kind of priority for me was this Talking Heads live album, which when I seen on the list, I probably wasn't too bothered about, but it's actually quite an early one. It's from it's a 1977 live recording, so they basically do most of their first album on here, plus a couple of tracks which weren't even on that album. So there's quite a few rarities on this record here. So I'm just breaking the cellophane there. I don't think there's much in the way of packaging with this. It's just kind of sort of quite dark on the inside there, but I do really like that cover though. And the vinyls themselves are nothing special in terms of their colouring or anything, but no, nice to get another Talking Heads live album here, because this period I think is really underrated for them. The first Talking Heads album is one of my favourites, and yeah, it is great just to get this live recording of it. Another one for me, which was quite high up on my list, was this Pulp compilation, which is, again, it's a reissue of something which I think was put out in the kind of mid-90s when they were at their peak. But this basically collects sort of a few early singles of theirs on the label Gift Records here. So I have got another Pulp compilation of early stuff, because I think they went through at least 3 record labels before they actually made it big, basically. So I think I've got a compilation which covers the stuff for Fire Records, which wasn't very good, but this one is Gift, which I think is slightly more recent. I think early 90s stuff here, and there's a couple of tracks on here which I certainly know by title, well Babies is a Pulp classic, and then Razzmatazz as well, I think is one of their slightly more popular songs here. So in terms of packaging, you get printed inner, which is quite nice here, and in terms of vinyl colouring, yes, this one is on a kind of blue vinyl there. So yeah, that is this Pulp and the Gift recordings. Another one I was keen to pick up was this album by Field Music, which is actually a brand new release of theirs. So I'm not sure if this is planning to get a more widespread release, or if this literally is just a record store day item, and then that'll be that. But I am a big fan of Field Music, kind of Sunderland-based duo, and this is a kind of, I think it's a bit of a collaboration album, this, with the Naswat Riverside band. so I'm not really sure. I've got no idea what this album is going to be like in terms of its style and sort of sound or like whatever, but I always do like field music, and it's actually, I mean, like the proper songs have all got lyrics on there, so this will be an interesting album for sure here. In terms of packaging, again, let's take a look at this. So there's no other inner with it or anything, and I don't think, again, it's on a coloured vinyl or anything, but it is nice just to get like the new release there by Field Music. Okay, those were the main ones that I was going for, and I guess I've got 3 other items here which are all kind of like nice to have sort of things, and I've got a bit of a kind of love-hate relationship, I guess, with like Record Store Day. You know, you can often guess throughout the year moan about everything being overhyped, to everything being like overpriced and that, but it is a real lifeline to kind of like a lot of like record shops. It was certainly it was very busy like there like today. Like I got there pretty early, about 6ish, so the shop opened at 8, and I was sort of like maybe 20th, 30th, like in like the queue, but then by the time it opened, the queue was stretching like sort of like, well, not quite for miles, but it certainly felt like that. So yeah, I mean, like they do really well like on like Record Store Day, like these shops, and it probably does keep a lot of them like afloat. So I did get a few other ones here, which again you could say kind of not essential ones, but ones which were just like, yeah, I want that kind of thing, was on my long list. So this first one is a Lightning Seeds 10-inch reissue of the song Pure, one of my favourite Lightning Seeds songs, probably their best song, like objectively here. Like just a nice reissue of it here. I think for tomorrow it says their 35th anniversary here. We'll just get it open here now. Okay, and here we are, and I think this one here is on a lovely yellow vinyl there. So yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, the Lightning Seeds there, and again I think it's got a couple of unique B-sides on it here, a couple of which I don't think were on the original 12-inch release either, so it's not just a kind of straight ahead reissue of it. This next one I did see on the list, but needed to kind of research it a little bit before I decided to get it. So it's an album by Trashcan Sinatra's, a kind of Scottish kind of indie pop kind of jangle band. This is a more recent album of theirs called Wild Pendulum. I think it was originally released in sort of like 2016, I think. But this one, but basically with Trashcan Sinatra's, they were great in kind of like the 80s, early 90s, some fantastic albums. But then the more recent stuff I've heard has been a bit hit and miss, a little bit on the boring kind of sleepy side. But I thought, okay, I'll give this album a listen before I sort of buy it, and I absolutely love this record. It's quite a different sound for them. I believe that they used, I was going to say Simon Dine produced it, who worked with Paul Weller, but he's not actually credited like as producer, so he's like, I've misread that, or he's maybe more just like an engineer or something. But basically he gives the Trashcan Sinatra's a kind of quite a unique kind of sonic palette for them, like on this album. It certainly feels very different to any of their other albums. So yeah, we'll just get it open here. I really rated this album. Okay, here we are. It looks like it's got a nice printed inner, although it's quite difficult to read, all very kind of grey and dreary. But the album I thought was really nice, and it's on a kind of, again, a kind of grey sort of vinyl there. This is it's a numbered edition of it here, so you can see here I got their number 105 out of 1500 there, so quite a nice low number there. That's trying to focus. I'm not sure if that's working, but yeah, like 105 numbered reissue there of Trashcan Sinatra's. And then for Record Store Day, every year there's always a David Bowie item, and normally I'm not too fussed about it, but this year I kind of thought that I would pick this up. So it's called Waiting in the Sky, which is kind of early mixes of the kind of Ziggy Stardust album. And the main reason why I got this one was because there's a couple of tracks on here which aren't on the main Ziggy album and are slightly rare, like in like the Bowie catalogue. So there's tracks on there like Round and Round, Amsterdam, and Holy Holy, I think, like were all like unreleased like up till like this point, or like very difficult to find like on like any like official like Bowie release. So yeah, we'll just get this open here and see what the packaging is like. So it looks like there is a printed inner, which is good. Yeah, really nice printed inner, actually. Just looks like an old kind of tape box there. And I don't think this is on it's not on any coloured vinyl or anything there, but just on the kind of classic sort of Bowie RCA style label there. So yeah, really looking forward to giving this a listen. This wasn't essential for me. I know for a lot of people this was probably the record store day item, but I'm not a massive Bowie collector. Like, I don't feel the need to have absolutely everything like his estate kind of like pumps out, but I thought this one like was a nice one to get. Like, I like the cover, and yeah, just to get a couple of like sort of like Bowie rarities there, thought was worth it for that. Okay, so that's all of the record store day items done. So I've just got a bundle here now from the last time I was down in Manchester, plus a slightly rare online find, which I'll save until the end. So these two first ones here are actually from my uncle's collection, which I almost thought I kind of mined, sort of like, and I basically got like everything like I kind of like could like from it, like kind of like fully mined it. But there was this band which I came across called the Dainties, Martin Stevenson and the Dainties, and I thought that and like I decided to give this album like in particular like a listen like on Spotify. Really liked it. Quite folky, but kind of indie folk pop, I'd say, very Lilac Timey, like if like you're into them, or kind of like that sort of thing, like quite rootsy, but like really good stuff though. So my uncle had a copy of this album here called Salutation Road, which is a really great record, and then he also had a single from them here, a song called Trouble Town here, but this is just credited to the Dainties here. This one's a slightly early one. This one I think came out in maybe 85, I think, and this album here is from 1990, so quite a bit of a gap there, but yeah, two items there by the Dainties. Okay, next couple are from Manchester record shops. The first few here are from King B Records in Chorlton. So I got this Elvis Costello single, Watching the Detectives was one I didn't have. Nice to get it, lovely condition, picture sleeve single there. I then got this Jesus and Mary Chain, 10-inch here for Happy When It Rains, one of my favourite songs of theirs, just a brilliant track. And then, yeah, like a few unique B-sides there, just on a nice 10-inch black vinyl there. An album now by The Pretenders, which I don't really know much about this record, but it was very cheap, I think about £3 or £4 for a copy of Packed by The Pretenders. So this one came out in 1990. I'm just reading the track list here. I can't say I know any of these songs by their title, but we'll see what this album is like. Pretenders are a great solid band. They've got a really good discography, and lots of great songs, and let's see if this album is like any good. Like I'm sure it will be. Produced by Mitchell Froome, who'd done a lot with Crowded House and Paul McCartney around that sort of era, so yeah, should be a good album. Next up now, a classic which I was missing from my collection. It's The Clash and Give 'Em Enough Rope here, so their second album, 1978. This one came out. Now, I'm really not sure if this is a original pressing of it or if it's some kind of reissue, perhaps. But this wasn't all that expensive. I think £12 I paid for this. So I thought that was a great price for what, could well be like an original, like off like the Clash's second album here. It's on a kind of CBS label, very thin kind of like kind of flimsy vinyl there, but yeah, CBS records there, The Clash. So I'm not a massive fan like of The Clash. London Calling's definitely the album for me, which I think is, I guess I'm always kind of comparing everything they put out to London Calling, but this one does have a few songs which I know certainly by their title, songs like Stay Free, Safe European Home, Tommy Guns on here as well, so yeah, like a lot of like good tracks here on The Clash's second album. Okay, and last one from King B Records was a Morrissey single. Now I'm a bit funny now about getting Morrissey singles. I don't really want to buy them, but I mean, because I don't listen to Morrissey too much, like his solo stuff, especially these days. But I still have a fair collection, like of like his singles, and there are some great singles, like amongst like his like early kind of like late 80s, early 90s solo work. And this is kind of just on like the cusp of that kind of era. So this is a single for Boxers, which is a non-album track from the mid 90s, which is really good song. Like I've got this on a Greatest Hits CD, and I've always really rated the track. So yeah, non-album single here, just on a 12-inch here, which I've never seen before, and fairly reasonably priced as well. So I thought I'd pick that one up too. Next couple here are all from Clampdown Records in Manchester City Centre record shop. Definitely for me the best shop in kind of Manchester City Centre. So I got this one here, which is, I think the last time I showed an album by The Mighty Lemon Drops, the one with the track Inside Out on it, but I can't remember like what the album's called. But this one here, I thought that I would give this one a go. Didn't quite like this one as much. I thought this was a bit of a step down personally. But no, still a decent record though, like none the less. 1989 this one came out, yeah, so something like their third or fourth album here. But yeah, decent though there, and not too expensive either. I think maybe about £6 I think paid for that one. Another Lightning Seeds single here, been really getting into them like over the past few months. So this is for the song Joy, again from their great debut album Cloud Cuckoo Land. Fantastic records, and yeah, great to get the 12-inch to one of the tracks on it here. Not one of my favourites from the album though. I think there were probably better choices to maybe pull like as singles, but Joy is a good song, and yeah, it's nice to get the single off it. Okay, and then to finish from Clampdown Records, there was a couple of Elvis Costello 12-inch singles which I didn't have yet, so I got a copy of Tokyo Storm Warning here. Probably one of his worst singles, worst in terms of it was never going to be a hit, you know. It's the most uncommercial song you could possibly think of. Yeah, it's a very puzzling choice. And then a song that he co-wrote with Paul McCartney for a few years later. This one is So Like Candy, which I didn't realise was even put out like on a 12-inch, but no, nice to get this one here as well. A few B-sides, a few live tracks, and a demo of Veronica as well. So yeah, nice to get that one. Okay, lastly, batch now from Manchester are from Reel Around the Fountain Records out in Stretford. So again, I did alright in this shop here. Maybe went a little bit crazy perhaps, but yeah, gonna definitely need to slow things down a little bit over the next like few months. So I got another Jam single here, so I think I must be nearly complete like on like the Jam singles. Just been slowly building up the collection, buying them like as and when I see them for fairly reasonable prices. So this one here is like When You're Young, one of my favourite singles off theirs. I think is a really underrated single actually. It wasn't a massive hit, but it's certainly one of their best singles. I think £4 I paid for that one. I then got this EP by Ride. So Ride, I think, formed in the kind of like the late 80s and then basically made kind of 4 EPs before attempting like a full album. And I'm not sure where this one sits in amongst those, whether this was the first. I don't think this was the first one, but or like kind of like which number like EP it was, but it is basically, I think the main track on it is called Chelsea Girl, and it's yeah, I've not played this one yet. I've not played most of these yet, like I must be honest, but yeah, no, like looking forward to listening to this one here. 1989 this one came out, a nice original pressing of it. Earlier there, I showed a couple of records by the Dainties, Martin Stevenson and the Dainties, and I then picked up this one here, which I've seen like in the shop, called Boat to Bolivia here. This one is on Kitchenware Records, the same label that Prefab Sprout were on during the 80s. This one is from, trying to find a year on here, let's have a look and see. Mid-80s though, I'd say. 86 this one came out there, just on the kind of familiar Kitchenware Records label there. Can't say I know any of the tracks like on here, but no, like looking forward to like giving this one a listen though. And then a little bit like off a blind buy as well, but fairly cheap though. It's this album by a band called The Primitives. They're kind of female-led kind of jangle pop indie kind of band, so very much in my kind of musical sweet spot, but like yeah, like one which I thought that I would like give like a chance to. This one I think is their most popular album. It's certainly the one that I kind of see the most often. It's got probably their biggest single on it, a song called Crash on here as well. Nice printed inner with it there as well. So yeah, I thought that was a good buy there for £6. Okay, and then last one now from Reel Around the Fountain Records was what I was kind of humming and hawing about getting, because it was a little bit pricey, but you never see these items here. So I got a copy of Oasis and Supersonic. So this one was priced at £40, which normally like is an absolute steal for these, and I do think this was, but The reason why this was priced as it was because the condition isn't 100%. So you see here, there's a fair bit of spine damage there, a little bit of wear and tear, just on the edges though, so it doesn't really affect the cover too much. And the record, although it doesn't look brilliant, I mean, the guy like had a turntable and basically let me spin it, and it played through absolutely fine, you know, like 12-inch shingles, like, you know, like sort of 45s can withstand a bit of kind of surface damage and scratches and that. So yes, on paper it and certainly like to look at, it's maybe not the finest pressing of it, but I thought, you know, for like £40, it's, yeah, like, I mean, like, you never see these go for like anything less than £80 these days. And you've got a couple of unique B-sides on here, a track called Take Me Away and a live song called I Will Believe. Again, never like on an album, and never even put on the Master Plan compilation, those two songs either, so very much kind of lost to history, those. But no, yeah, nice to get this on here. Great. I think this was the debut by like Oasis, so that gives it like something else as well. So yeah, great debut single, Oasis. Okay, and then last one up for today is an online purchase, which it was from eBay actually. I don't buy records too often from eBay these days, but occasionally you'll see an auction pop up and it'll have and like it'll be for say a record which might be say usually go for about say £40-50, and you see the starting price and it's like a tenner, and you think, okay, I'll just bid on that, why not, see what happens, or like kind of watch it and then kind of maybe bid like at like the last minute. So I got this for £20, which is an absolute steal. It's the second album by, again, the Lightning Seeds, who, again, like Ian Brody, really been getting into them. This is called Sense, this album here. I was going to say maybe their most popular record, but I'm not sure. Like, I'd say the first three albums are all probably just as popular like as one another. The reason why I say this one might be the most popular is because it's probably got their most popular song on it, aside from the annoying 3-line song, like The Life of Riley, like it's like the second track on here, which is a great song and I think was quite a sizable hit for them. But then you've got the track Sense, which opens the album, which was co-written with Terry Hall, whose version of it actually I knew first, you know, from his one of his solo albums called Home. He did a great version of it, but this is like the original one here, but co-written by him though, which is nice. And there's a few other tracks co-written like with Terry Hall like on here as well. And then I think one co-written with Ian McNabb from the Icicle Works as well. So yeah, real kind of who's who of kind of like 80s kind of indie there. Yeah, nice pressing off it as well, plays through flawlessly, and it's in really nice condition as well, and it's never been reissued this either, like, unfortunately, so yeah, you really have to go down like the original route these days to get a copy of it. But really good stuff though, brilliant album here, Lightning Seeds and Sense. So yeah, that becomes the end of this final update video. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, and if you've got any requests, I guess, for future reviews or videos in general, I guess please leave them down below in the comments, and yep, I'll see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.
Nobody can see him, nobody